Hi, my name is Mohammad Saleem. I'm an attorney and law partner at the firm of Davis and Danusa Ickleston Saleem, and today I want to make a brief video to talk about the three most important immigration law changes and updates affecting all immigrants in the United States and even abroad. First, what I think is really important is that all immigrants, including undocumented immigrants in the United States, do take care of themselves and seek treatment and medical attention if they need it in regards to coronavirus. This is important because USCIS has put out an update saying that if you're an immigrant and you're afraid of seeking treatment or medical attention related to coronavirus, do not be afraid that Immigration Services, USCIS, which is U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services, will use that against you in a future public charge determination. Public charge, really briefly, is a rule that comes into effect when immigrants apply for a green card or some sort of immigration benefit in the future. And typically, the rule right now is that if you are getting some sort of governmental assistance, such as SNAP, also known as food stamps, or non-emergency medical services, USCIS can use those against you negatively in a future determination. However, very importantly, USCIS has made it clear that if you are seeking treatment for coronavirus or medical attention for coronavirus infection, let's say you're coughing, you're sick, and you believe you might have the symptoms and like to go to a doctor to get tested, USCIS will not use that negatively against you in a future public charge determination. Second, starting March 21st, 2020, USCIS has said that they will be accepting immigration benefit forms and documents with a signature that may be a copy of a document containing the original handwritten signature. Thus, individuals and companies that submit documents bearing electronically reproduced original signatures must retain copies of the original document, which is known as the wet signature or original signed document with ink. And USCIS may at any time request the original documents, which, if not produced, could negatively impact the adjudication of the immigration benefit. For example, if you're my client in Chicago and you want to file what is the I-751 petition to remove conditions on a residence, so you got married to somebody, you came to America, and you have a 2-year conditional green card, I can have you print out the form in Chicago, sign it, take a picture of it or scan it and email it to me back to my office in Brooklyn. I can print out the form from my printer and then submit it along with the application to have that petition processed and adjudicated. However, in the future, USCIS may, at the time of an interview or any time prior to the decision of that application, may request you to produce that original document, and if you don't, they may make a negative determination on your application. So that's really important because this law allows applicants anywhere within the United States to fill out forms. Even if you're here in New York City, let's say you live in the Bronx and you don't want to be traveling at this time to my office in Brooklyn or anywhere else to meet with a lawyer, you can fill out the form, electronically sign it, or basically print out the form, sign it, and then send it back to the attorney so that he can submit your application in a timely manner. I know that many applications are important to get filed so that USCIS can make a decision on your case, such as 751 applications where you're given a conditional 2-year green card and you have to file it within that time period prior to the end of that 2-year period. I think that's an important rule and policy that's really helpful in a time where law firms like our firm are trying to practice social distancing and stop the spread of coronavirus and also keep yourself and ourselves safe and so forth. Third, and importantly, USCIS closures and rescheduled appointments. We've been following all of the recent updates from USCIS in regards to many of their offices closures in New York City, where we're the epicenter of some of the most, the coronavirus epidemic in the United States and so forth. And many of the USCIS offices had closed and are still closed. Right now, if you go to their website, it says, as of today, March 25th, that USCIS's offices will, throughout the United States, remain closed and will reopen on or about April 7th unless the public closures are extended. From my take on it, in New York City, the USCIS offices will actually remain closed perhaps even longer because of what's happening in New York. And who does this apply to? So the USCIS offices are field offices, asylum offices, and what they call application support centers where biometrics are done. So if you've got a citizenship interview at the field office, that's going to be adjourned until after April 7th. If you filed an asylum application and you've got to go out to get the interview done for the asylum application, that's going to be adjourned as well as your fingerprinting for, let's say, a green card application or any other type of application and so forth. Many of my clients have gotten letters already in the mail saying that their cases are being adjourned and move out to another date and so forth. So please check your mail regularly and also check your website. Call USCIS if you don't get a letter scheduling your case and so forth. Also on this note, on this point, I want to make an important note regarding how make sure that if you have a ICE check-in, which is different than USCIS, or you have an immigration court date, which is different than USCIS, you do follow up and find out what the guidance is specifically from your ICE officer or from your attorney handling your immigration case. Those are separate and apart from USCIS, and they have their own parameters. Many of them are closed. The immigration courts in New York City are closed as of right now. Some of them may be limitedly open for filing at certain times. The immigration courts in Federal Plaza and Broadway in New York City are closed. However, the Varick Street one is open, which is for detainees and so forth. I also recommend that you follow DOJ _ EOIR at Twitter, and also USCIS on Twitter, or ICE on Twitter if you have cases or you have matters dealing with those agencies and so forth. Finally, I'll put a link to the EOIR immigration court closure list so you can see all throughout the United States where your cases are and what's happening with the courts there and so forth. Also additional links from USCIS to kind of update what's happening with their national closures. Finally, our firm would like to wish everyone safety and well-being in this time where we're all dealing with coronavirus, and we're hoping that we can come out of here or come out together with good health and well-being. Thank you.